Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Emily Carter who lived in a small town called Willow Creek. It was one of those quiet towns where everyone knew each other. The coffee shop owner remembered your usual order, and Friday night football was the biggest event of the week. From the outside, Emily's life looked normal, maybe even perfect to some people. She had a small family, her mom, dad, and younger brother, Noah. They lived in a simple two-story house with peeling white paint and a porch swing that squeaked when the wind blew. Life looked peaceful, but deep down, Emily felt like she was constantly fighting battles that no one could see. Her family didn't have much money. Her dad worked at a local factory, and her mom cleaned houses for a living. Bills were always piling up. Her dad worked at a local factory, and her mom cleaned houses for a living. Bills were always piling up. Emily had big dreams. She wanted to go to college, become a writer, and travel across the country. But every time she looked at her parents' tired faces, guilt washed over her. How could she think about leaving when her family needed her? One evening, just as winter was fading, a huge storm hit Willow Creek. The wind howled through the streets. The rain hammered against rooftops, and thunder roared like an angry beast. The next morning, Emily woke up to find that the roof of their house had started leaking. Buckets were placed around the living room to catch the dripping water. Her dad sighed, rubbing his forehead. "We'll fix it somehow," he said. But his eyes told a different story, tired, hopeless, and worried. Emily felt helpless. She wanted to do something, anything. She decided to work part-time after school at a diner on the highway. It wasn't easy, between school, work, and home responsibilities. She barely slept. Her friends went to parties and took weekend trips. But Emily spent her nights pouring coffee for truck drivers and counting tips. There were days she felt like giving up. Days when her legs ached, her brain was foggy, and her smile felt fake. But every time she came home and saw her mom cooking, or her dad fixing the roof with what little they had, she kept going. She told herself, problems don't last forever, even when she didn't believe it. As months passed, Emily faced another kind of problem, people. Her best friend, Lily, started acting distant. Lily had joined a new group of friends who seemed more cool and popular. One day in the hallway, Emily overheard Lily laughing with them. Emily's too busy being the town's waitress. One girl joked. Everyone laughed, even Lily. Emily's heart sank. That laugh hurt more than any storm ever could. That night, she cried quietly in her room, wondering why people changed. She had never judged Lily for anything, but now she felt judged for trying to help her family. Her mom noticed and sat beside her. "You know, honey," she said softly, "life's full of people who come and go. The ones who stay, they're the ones worth keeping." Emily nodded, even though her heart still stung. She realized that not all problems were physical or financial. Some were emotional, and those could hurt the most. By the time Emily finished high school, she had almost given up on her dream of college. There was no money for tuition, and even with her savings from the diner, it wasn't enough. One afternoon, while clearing tables, she found a small newspaper ad. Local writing scholarship open to high school seniors. Tell your story, win a chance to study creative writing. Emily hesitated at first. She thought, who would want to read about me? But that night, she opened her old notebook and started writing. About her struggles, her family, the storm, her friendship, and everything in between. She didn't try to sound fancy or perfect, she just told the truth. Weeks later, she received an email. "Congratulations, Emily Carter, you've been awarded the Willow Creek Writing Scholarship." She couldn't believe it. She screamed so loud her mom dropped a plate in the kitchen. It wasn't a full scholarship, but it was enough to cover her first semester. For the first time, Emily saw a real path toward her dream. She realized that problems don't end you. They shape you. They teach you what strength really means. College life wasn't the fairy tale Emily imagined. The city was loud, fast, and full of people who didn't care who she was. Her roommates had money to spare, while she worked late nights in the campus library to pay for books. There were moments. One evening, after failing an exam, she sat outside on the dorm steps, staring at the streetlights. She thought about quitting. "Why does life always have to be so hard?" she whispered. An old janitor sweeping nearby looked at her and said, "If life were easy, you'd never learn how strong you are." Those words stuck with her. From then on, every time she faced a new problem, whether it was grades, work, or loneliness, she reminded herself that pain had a purpose. Years later, Emily finally graduated with a degree in creative writing. She got a small job at a local newspaper, and slowly, she began publishing short stories. But her biggest dream came true when she wrote a book, Problems in Life, inspired by her own journey. When the book was published, she returned to Willow Creek for a signing event. The same diner where she once worked now had a poster of her book in the window. Her parents were in the front row, proud tears in their eyes. Even Lily came, apologizing for the past. After the event, a young girl approached her and said, "Your story made me feel like I'm not alone." Emily smiled. "That's exactly why I wrote it," she said softly. "Life is full of problems, some big, some small. They don't come to destroy you but to prepare you. Every storm, every broken friendship, every hard night builds strength, patience, and wisdom." Emily's story reminds us that problems are not the end of the road. They're part of the journey. You can cry, you can fall, but never stop moving forward. Because one day, you'll look back and realize every problem had a reason, and every tear led you exactly where you were meant to be. The moral of the story is, problems don't break strong people, they build them. Keep going, no matter how tough it gets.